This is the Bullseye Podcast.
Oh, here we go, old Cap. Always fun on the Bullseye Podcast. And this show's going to be a good one because my brain is at 100% capacity. It's taking time. Okay, 90% capacity, but it's good enough. This is Bullseye on the Bullseye Podcast, on the Bullseye Network, on the Bullseye frequency of your life.
Everybody wants you. Everybody wants your love.
And
I just like to make you
You're cracking me up with the Little Rascals lines before we went on.
talking
Funny
Little
stuff,
Rascals and old Cap and the back pension. How many people can remember that?
Who was that lady? Was that his wife? Remember that old lady? With the
old Cap, that was his wife. Yeah, it was old Cap. That was his wife. Old Cap. Oh,
I wonder how
boy.
much it was. I remember when I was a kid, it was like $1 million, but I don't think it was that much, right? What the actual number
The
was.
back pension.
Of the back pension.
I don't know the number. Was it $1 million?
I don't think he ever said it, but I was always curious what the heck it was. You know,
That was the episode when they ate the mush. Yeah. And they still ate the mush after they got the back pension.
Right, with the milk and the lady, right? The old lady. Yeah. She was, anyway, what's going on?
Hey, where's Ron Bloomberg when you need him? No?
You know what? He emailed me today, so I have to get back to him. He was very slow on the feedback, but we have a shot. He did get back to me, so I think I could get him on.
All right.
I'll tell you about it after we close. Yeah, I'll tell you about it. I think we have a shot here. Yeah.
All right, so now how are the Yankees doing? I have no idea.
I think they're great, right? Aren't they 14-6? I mean, they're winning again. They're home. They're undefeated at home. I mean, they're really on a roll. That Frazier is batting 636, whatever. Whatever his name
Clint
is, Frazier.
right?
Yeah. I hope he stays in, even if the big guy comes back. You know, how do you take him out of the lineup, right? When you're batting 636.
So I think baseball people are catching on now. They're figuring the game's the game. Let's enjoy it. Here comes the fall.
I
right?
think so.
Here comes the fall. But
Yeah,
nice to watch
so.
something competitive in the fall.
It would. You know, it's holding up pretty good. You know, we had that scare early with all the guys with the COVID. Remember, they canceled the Marlins games. The Phillies canceled.
Right.
I was doubting a season, but I mean, what are we now? 20 games into it. I mean, I got a feeling they're gonna make it, right? I mean, you got to figure they're gonna make the season. So, you know, I'm starting to get into it a little bit.
Yeah,
now.
we'll get into it. You know,
Yeah.
the summer's coming over. It gets cool. We got to have baseball. There's going to be some college football. There's going to be some.
There is. They are going to play some of the league.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the SEC, ACC.
Okay.
So there's
All right,
going to be
good.
there's going to be something going on. You know, we were talking last time about boxing. One of my favorite subjects, old school boxing, and I know you're a big Ali guy. Tell me about what you remember from Ali's career. And the great fights and the great memories from it.
Ali's career from what I remember, or just from a historian,
Either one. I don't know, but
Well, of course, I remember.
You're a big Ali fan. Tell me some stories.
Yeah. Well, you know, when we were kids, that's when he was in he was suspended, right? That was when my awareness was kicking in, about 67, 68, when I was in, third grade.
Right.
So he was out of boxing, so I couldn't figure it out. I didn't even know who the champion was there for those 2 years he was out. And then he came back, and that was like huge because, he's coming back now. Will he ever be the same? So I remember all that hype. Right. Then I think he fought Jerry Quarry the first fight, which was like
he came back
no
with
contest.
Jerry Quarry, right.
Yeah, Quarry was like an easy victory. And then he fought the great, one of my favorites, Oscar Bonavena.
Right.
And, Oscar was a step up. He seemed to be like the next level up. And, Ali knocked him down 3 times in the 15th round, which was a good fight. But, Ali had him all the way, and he kind of destroyed him in the last round with the knockdowns. Then he fought Frazier, and that was like the fight of the century at the time. I still think it's the greatest fight of all time for a heavyweight. Ali coming back, he's in his prime still. He's still, 29. Frazier was a monster. He was in his prime, and he was champion. And of course, Frazier wins, as we all know, knocks Ali down. And then Ali becomes the underdog for the first time. He was always the favorite, and now he gets to be the underdog, and everybody's kind of rooting for Ali now. So that was my first memories of him coming back, which was amazing, and losing to Frazier. I was kind of a Frazier fan, so I was rooting for Smoking Joe. You know, I mean, we couldn't get it on TV back then. It was always closed circuit, right? It was one of those, you know, you got to listen to the radio, or you got to get like some radio guy telling you round by round. I remember trying to find out. Well, we were in like fifth grade, I think, when that was on. Then the next day at school, that's all we were talking about. The fight of Frazier won, 15-round decision.
Right.
So that started my memory off, and then you know, from there, Ali had a comeback. You know, we'll get more into that. So how about you? What's your memory?
You know, they had 3 championship belts in those days. They had the WBA, the WBC,
right,
and something
okay, I remember those two.
NYSAC. I never heard of that. I was checking that out today.
Oh, really? Yeah, I never heard of that.
When Ali left, when Ali left, and then he got suspended, and he came back, right? So then he won. So then he won the championship from who? Who did he beat? Where's the intern? Wait
a minute. Wait, what year are you talking about?
When Ali came back, when he won the championship, when he came back.
Wait a minute. You mean when he won?
Not to Sonny Liston. He beat Sonny Liston. We know that. Then he lost. And then he came back. He beat Forman, right? Yeah. Was that Forman?
That was He lost to Frazier. Then he had the comeback fight, so he had to come back. He beat Frazier again. He beat whatever. I don't even remember who it was, but he beat 3 or 4 or 5 guys, and he came up to Forman, super underdog. No one thought Ali was going to win that fight. Foreman, remember, knocked down Frazier 6 times in like one round 4 times.
I remember that. That was Kingston, Jamaica.
Indestructible, yeah.
Kingston,
he was indestructible. And then Ali, who's now older, and knocks Foreman out in the 8th round in Zaire, Africa. You know, so it was like, I remember we were freshmen at that point. Right. So we went from 5th grade to freshman, Ali not champion, and then it was like, unbelievable. Now the guy's champ again. He's back, and he pulls off probably the greatest upset in heavyweight history to this day, I think, because people don't remember how great Foreman was. I mean, he was just killing everybody. He was like Mike Tyson times 10, right?
And then once Ali figured him out, Foreman would win, but he would get in some fights where he got his ass kicked, but he would still win. But the Ron Lyle fight, remember? I was looking at that on YouTube. We talked about that last time.
That was Foreman against Lyle. Great match. They were knocking each other down.
I was watching that, and then I watched Ernie Shavers again and the Ron Lyle, which they don't have good tape on, but somehow I remember that vividly, that fight. And then the Norton fight,
Right, yeah, it was just a total slugfest, right? Everybody like winging in and out of off the canvas.
Remember Ali Norton was in Yankee Stadium. Do you remember that one? Ali Norton, Yankee Stadium.
I remember that. You know why I remember that? Because I remember your brother went to that match. How's my memory?
My brother?
I thought your brother went. No, wait a minute. No, I went. You know what? He was saying something about seeing that fight because it was probably Ali's last fight.
My brother.
I remember something. Your brother, yeah. I remember there was something about that. Maybe you went to see it on closed circuit TV.
There's something we'll have to check into, but I do remember that. That
was a huge fight.
That was a great one.
Yeah,
that was a big one.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't when he broke his. That's not when he broke his jaw, was it? Was that one?
No, that was the fight. I think that might have been the one before. No, that was the first fight in '73. That's right. Ali lost. He lost again before he fought the Foreman. He lost to Norton on that decision when he broke the jaw. I thought it was all over then because you can't lose 2 fights, back then. And then he came back again, and then he had a string of fights. The fight you're talking about with Norton, I think he fought him twice more. Right. And then he fought all those like weird
fights.
Guys.
He won 2. And I still can't understand how he lost to Leon Spinks. Was he totally out of it?
Oh man, that was a sad day. But I remember.
Did he not train at all?
He didn't look good at all either. I mean, Leon that was his 8th fight, I think, right? I mean, he did win the gold medal.
And then Spinks wins that, and then he was a champ for like a month. And then what happened after that? He fought Ali. I think that was his next fight. He beat Ali. He won the championship from Ali.
Right, and then his next fight was, I believe, Ali the next year. I remember I was a freshman in college. It was like that September. Right. And you figured Ali was going to win on a comeback, which he won on a decision. He was kind of close. Ali definitely won, and Spinks loses it. That might be a world record. Someone going with the title and not even defending it once.
I don't think he ever did. No, he never defended the title.
Well, how come we never heard about this? That's like big news, right? I never even until I just said it. Now, I never even.
Nobody's talking about this other than on the Bullseye podcast. That's why this is a unique show. We go places. We're in, we're out. We're in, we're out. You know what?
I got the intern checking it out.
Come on, intern.
Well, check this out.
I got to get my computer doesn't work. I can't turn it on. I got to bring it to be fixed.
Wow.
Yeah. eBay.
26 and 17 lifetime record. I mean, that's pretty bad for a heavyweight, right? I mean, for a champion.
What was that?
26. He was 26 and 17. That was Leon Spinks' record. Yeah. Yeah, he won the title against Ali February 15th. Okay, it wasn't a year. It was like 8 months. Right. 1978, and then he lost it September 15th, 1978. So it was at 9-2. So 7 months later. So he held it for 7 months without a fight to defend the title. He lost the next fight against Ali. But that never happened before. I mean, he might have tied a few people, but no one ever, you can't beat that record, by never defending it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he had the two teeth missing. Remember, like in the cover of Sports Illustrated? With the
yeah. Right. And then Ali went, remember when he fought, he came back again. He retired after that. No, he retired. I think he retired after that. Then he fights, he did retire. Then he fights, remember who he fought in his first comeback? I mean, it was pretty sad spectacle.
Wepner?
No, that was on the run up after he won his first title. He fought some bums, but Wepner was. I have a friend from Bayonne.
The Wepner was when he came back. That's when he came back. So he was after his second championship. No, when was that? When was Wepner?
Right. Yeah, that was around 75. That was the Rocky saga was after that.
Right.
And then he fights Larry Holmes in 1980. I remember now.
Then Holmes. He pulverized him. He was.
Yeah, I didn't think much about it, but I know a lot of people thought Ali was going to come back again and win it again. Holmes was prime, totally in his prime. And it was sad. I mean, that's hard to watch. If you ever watched that thing.
Holmes was in his prime. Ali was 38, right? He was.
Ali was way out of his prime. Yeah, I don't think he trained right. He was doing the diet pills.
I think the story was. Did you hear the story about that in Tyson? Because Tyson had called Ali up because Tyson, Ali was Tyson's idol. And then Ali said, he asked him about the fight, and Ali said something about he took medication or something like that, and then when they had the fight between Tyson and Holmes, Ali came in the ring. They introduced him, so he went over to Forman like he nodded, and then he went over to Tyson and he whispered in Tyson's ear. And they said after the fight, what did he whisper in the ear? And he said, "Kick his ass." He hated.
Holmes.
Okay. Inside.
Yeah, I remember
story.
now that you said it. Inside scoop from the Bullseye. Okay,
yes.
Yeah.
How about this name?
But that was,
go ahead. How about this name?
I said let's move on with that.
How about this name? Alfredo Evangelista. Do you remember him?
Oh, that was after the SVP Forman. He fought like eight weird guys. I remember the Lion from Flanders or something.
Koopman.
Yeah. You say it good. Yeah, I was like, he was knocking everybody out in the fifth round, but they were all bozos.
He fought Ernie Shavers, my man Ernie Shavers.
Shavers almost knocked him out. Remember when he hit him with that blow?
That's
and Ali buckled. He buckled. And the first time I saw Ali buckle, I'm like, whoa! Don't tell me this guy might get knocked out.
Good memory on that one.
Remember that? Yeah, I remember that.
Shavers punched harder than Forman.
That's what I heard from people that fought him. Yeah, well, I mean, Forman couldn't buckle all the way, but I mean, if you check that replay, boy, he hit him square, and those legs went. I mean, he stayed up, but then Ali, of course, beats him. I don't know like 8th, 9th round. Eventually, he was going through everybody, and then then I think Father Time just caught up with him when he lost to Spinks. I think that was that, and I think he was suffering from the Parkinson's. I think that was the start of that around 78, 79. You could tell he was like talking slower. The movements were slower. Everything was slowing down. You didn't know what it was. You didn't know that's what it was at the time, but that's what it was. I had a little argument with someone because we were talking about boxing and we were talking about Marciano, who, as you know, is one of my top 2 boxers of all time. I'll leave number 2.
Undefeated.
Right.
The Rock.
Undefeated, yeah. How could you not put him up there? I think he beat Ali in that computer.
Yeah,
Remember that computer thing they did?
Yes.
Yeah, they had Rocky winning that, and Ali respected Rocky. I mean, he had some great comments from Marciano. And one of my friends says, yeah, but who did Marciano fight? He fought Lewis when he was like 100 years old. He fought, Joe Walcott, who was, my comeback was, well, when he fought Walcott and he fought Ezra Charles and these guys, I mean, they were still kind of prime, even though they were older. Yeah, he beat Lewis, which was sad because that Lewis was, he wasn't the same, of course. But he beat everybody that was put in front of him.
He beat everybody that he had to beat. You can't create errors. You can't create errors. You have to beat. Right.
undefeated.
Undefeated is undefeated.
But when you're the champion, if there was no Rocky, then maybe Ezra Charles would be the guy. He would be undefeated. He would be like, wow, right?
Well,
right?
he did beat Ezra. He did beat Ezra Charles, actually.
Yeah, he beat Ezra a couple times.
He beat Walcott. He beat Ezra Charles. He beat. I think he beat.
Well, you name them, but we don't know that. We don't know the brand names because we weren't around then. And then I said to my friend, "Well, what about Ali in the '60s? You could say with every heavyweight.
Well, who did he fight? Guys like George Chuvalo. He was tough.
George Chuvalo. Like, who else did he fight in the '60s?
Cleveland Williams. Ernie Terrell is another one. Tomato can.
But I'm not holding it. I'm not holding that against. I'm not holding it against Ali, but okay, maybe they're not household names, but he did beat them all. So I said the same thing like you're saying. With Rocky, you go, hey, we don't know the names, but those guys might have been good. I mean, the only one Ali ever fought was Liston, who was, a drug addict and, had whatever issues he had. He fought Floyd Patterson, who was like a light heavyweight. So I threw his argument out the window. I said, you can't say, well, who did he fight? We really don't know, right? How's that argument, right? Well, I could say, who did Mike Tyson fight? Right? You could say with anybody. All right, he fought Spinks, he fought Holmes. Who else did he fight? So anyway, Ray the Cake. I think Ray the Cake comes out on top.
No,
of
absolutely.
That
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, none of them were Ingemar Johansson. But what are you going to talk? Ingemar Johansson. How about this name, Buster?
Champ,
How about this name, Buster Mathis? Remember him?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Right. He was a big guy, right?
Was he flabby? I mean, was he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah, we had my intern get a picture of it.
He was
about 240, right?
He had to be. I remember when he threw a punch, it shook for like 10 seconds. His whole body went up and down. All right, we talked about that. We talked about Joe Bugner. We talked about Joe.
Oh,
Bugner,
man.
Right?
I made a mistake. My intern made a mistake, and she got all quick. You know what she put instead of Buster Mathis?
What?
She put Busty Mathis, and guess what came up on the computer?
I've seen that.
We got rid of it quick.
God.
Yeah, my son was walking around over there. I had to get it off.
This is kids show here. It's a kids show. You think
my wife's checking my searches.
You think this is really a sports show, or what is this that we're doing here?
I don't know.
I think we would call this sports, right?
It's 90% sports, I mean, we'll talk about the Little Rascals a little, but now what else about boxing? Is this all Ali? This is all Ali, right?
I know Ali was your guy. What'd you know?
I met him, right? I met him twice.
Yeah, you told me about that story. You got the picture and all that stuff.
I had the picture. I told you that story. When he was doing the magic trick.
Right.
I met him the second time, which is a little bit of a story too.
Yeah.
I did another autograph show up in. I think it was in Edison at one of those expo things. Brett Favre was at the other table. This was like 90, I don't know, we were like 96, about 96, right? So there's Brett Favre over there, long line, I'll lead a long line. And there was like two other guys that no one went to, like you didn't care. I didn't even care about Favre. And I'm a Packer fan, but I went right to Ali. Somehow we get in. I don't even think I paid for the autograph thing, but we got in there and I was like about 10 feet away from the table. And I'm just looking at him, I'm just staring at Ali, because it's Ali, and you're like, I'm just looking at him, it's kind of stupid, I know. And I'm talking to a girl who's like sitting at a desk there, and I checked it out later. I thought it was his daughter, right? Muhammad Ali's daughter. Remember how she looked, right?
Not the what's her name, Leilani or
It might have been the boxer one. When I was a boxer, she was, she was nice and everything. So So I was talking to her. No pickup lines or anything. It was just normal talk. I was just kind of trying
If
to.
I was there, I would have been throwing pickup lines.
You would have. I know you would have.
Bullseye would have been on target.
But I was talking to her, so I wanted to kind of have the excuse to stay near Ali's table and just kind of check him out. And he looks at me, and my brother was there with me, and we were talking about it a few weeks ago, so I still can't believe that happened. So he looks at me, and he gives me the fist, like, shaking his fist at me like this. And I'm, like, looking at him, like, and I'm the only one there, so it must be me. It didn't hit me till later why he was doing that because, I'm talking to his daughter. So I guess he was trying to be funny, like, you better watch out what you're doing, I didn't pick that reason up until later.
Did he bite, like, his bottom lip, like, that?
He did. It was one of those things, like he did with Frazier with the thing, and it was like surreal. I'm like, holy! Right. I'm like looking around. He goes, "Is he doing that to me?" So that was kind of pretty cool.
How about this? Yeah. How about this guy, Roland LaStarza? Remember Roland?
Who the heck is that?
What?
No, I don't remember that name.
He was a tomato can. Ali fought him too. Roland LaStarza, I think so. Or Billy.
That must have been in the 60s, right?
I think he fought Joe Louis, Roland LaStarza, right?
Oh, you're making it up.
No, he's a real guy. Roland LaStarza. Look it up. ROLAND LASTARZA. Look him up. Roland LaStarza. Intern.
Oh, my intern. Okay.
Don't make a mistake and put... Because there's probably a lot of porn stars named LaStarza. Do not do that. Roland LaStarza.
You know what? It's a great name for a boxer.
Look him up, Roland LaStarza. I remember. I
got him. There he is. There he is. 1927 to 2009. Yeah, there he is. Hey, he looks pretty good.
1927 to 2009. What'd you say?
That was his years of birth to death. Yeah.
He died in 2009. I thought, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he wasn't bad. He won 57. He fought 66.
Right.
So he was pretty good. 59-9.
See?
Wow. Okay.
Why do I remember that?
There you go.
Here's another guy I remember. Billy.
Wow. He fought Jim.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Who did he fight?
I see Jim Johnson, but I'm thinking it was that guy from like 1921, that Jimmy, the first black heavyweight.
You mean Jack Johnson?
Yeah. You do Jim Johnson, so forget that. He fought some pretty good guys. Okay, yeah.
John L. Sullivan.
Yeah, now where you going back?
The first champion of all time, John L. Sullivan.
That was a beer fist era, right?
First heavyweight champion, 1885, John L. Sullivan. You see?
Wow.
It's a history lesson here.
I got him on. Yeah, he had a mustache and born in 1858.
Here's a name, Max Schmeling.
Max Schmeling, Joe Louis, right? Schmeling, that's the call. You used to do the call. You used to do that call. Remember in high school?
This go. And Schmeling is come on. And Max Schmeling is beaten in 1 round. That one.
There you go. Perfect. You put a little crowd effect behind it. You would sound just like that guy, right?
In 1 round.
In 1 round.
One of the classics.
Yeah. When we were talking, I mean, my interest in boxing kind of faded after the 80s. There was no heavyweight in the 80s, right? After, Evander Holyfield. I'm sorry. You had Tyson and Evander Holyfield.
There was a lot of champions in the 80s, boy. They were just...
All right, but after... There were champions all over the place.
There was like 4 different titles and all kinds of shit. It was just like...
It was more the lightweight guys with Durant, Leonard...
confusing. Right.
Hearns. You had Marvin Hagler, Benitez. Like, you had all the lightweight guys, the heavyweights. They were okay. 90s Evander Holyfield, and then that was it. I mean, and it's from 2000 on. I don't even know who the heavyweight champion in the year 2005 till now is. I mean, I'm kind of out of it.
Well, there's something the intern can look up. Who are the champions between two things? Here's some champs of the 80s. Ready? I'll throw some at you. See if you remember. John Tate.
Oh, yeah. He was the champion?
He was a champion. Here's another one.
Wow.
Trevor Berbick. That's who Tyson beat to win the...
Yeah, Lee fought him later on, too, and lost to Trevor, like, way after Holmes. I mean, he was a champion, too, Trevor Berbick.
Here's another one. Tim Witherspoon.
Oh.
No,
Witherspoon. He was okay. He was a smaller heavyweight, right? Yeah, he was a smaller heavyweight.
And all these guys Tyson destroyed. Mike
Tony Tubbs.
Tony Tubbs. Mike Weaver was another guy.
Mike Weaver, yeah.
And Michael Dokes. I think Tyson destroyed all those guys.
They were all like 1 year, like they were only like champion for like 1 or 2 fights, right? All these guys, I mean, they were like all one-hit wonders, these names, you know, that you mentioned to me, right? I mean, they're all like 1 year. That was a weird era, right? And then Tyson came on, and then Bone Crusher Smith, you can't forget him.
Oh, yeah, Bone Crusher. I wish one day boxing can be like it was in the old days. I just want to get excited about something. I have zero excitement. I'm not excited about anything.
Oh, look at this. I mean, they had a Russian Oleg Maskev, Shannon Briggs. I remember him.
Who? Yes, Shannon Briggs, yes.
Yeah, so now you're 2006.
Right.
You had some Russian guy, Canada guy, Bermain Stivrin. I don't even know. Alexander Povetkin. Charles Martin, 2016. Andy Roots, 2009.
Andy Roots, what is he, a golfer? Andy Roots.
And this Tyson Fury, his second reign, like now.
He's like a UK guy, right? Tyson Fury. I got to start watching boxing. Where is it? Who's telecasting boxing? Let's do a boxing interview. Let's get Wepner. Let's get Bloomberg.
Wepner's on Facebook. Why don't you try?
Let's get somebody.
Why don't you try him on Facebook? Let's get a boxer. That would be good.
You know what? I got to get my own intern to make the calls, but
it makes it cool. I think, like, you see, the thing is, these guys aren't doing anything, so this is like a perfect time to.
Yes, and our ratings are building. They're
going up. You were telling me, right? The downloads
in clumps.
Right. The downloads they're picking up, right? The downloads.
No, it's giddy. Yes, giddy.
Right.
I'm still trying to figure out if we should keep it in the sports genre or we should put it into a little bit of nothing, or I don't know what we call this show.
I don't know.
I think it's sports.
I don't know. We'll keep it with sports.
You know what I watch? I listen to a lot of other podcasts around. They're not that interesting. I don't want to say they stink, but they seem like they have to struggle to come up with content. So I was just bullshit. You know?
So what are your top 5? I know we're going on that. You can't go more than 30 minutes. We're getting close. But what are your top 5?
I got a whole new contract. And in this contract, I put a line item. I want coffee in the contract. I must have coffee.
Too? Okay.
I gotta get coffee in this contract.
You're a tough negotiator. You're
tough. I'm waiting for the calls to come in.
Yeah, right.
We're going to get an offer. You know what? There's no reason we can't be on Sirius Radio. I listen to those sports guys on Sirius. What's the big deal? What's the big deal?
I really don't listen to them. I listen to them for like 5 minutes, and I have enough of them.
Talk about this. Cleveland Williams. No one's talking about Cleveland Williams. Ernie Terrell. Lou Duva. Angelo Dundee, you hear me?
Right. Well, we keep it real, and that's
Drew Brown Bundini, real. Drew Brown. Man. How about his face, Drew Brown Bundini? He had that haircut.
What did he say? He used to say something, right, in the ring or something? Did you do a good imitation
like a butterfly, sting like a bee? That one?
Yeah. He used to have some fun things. He used to do him good, too.
Brown Bundini.
What was the Joe Frazier manager? What was that guy? Was
Yancey Durham. Why do I remember? Yeah, I remember that sweater. It was like a brown sweater, and he had like a wool hat, and he looked like Rollo on Sanford and Sons. Remember Rollo?
Yes. Didn't he have like a towel around his neck all the time?
Right. He looked like Rollo. Oh. Nancy Durham. Oh, well, that's this is what we do on this show, and I think we'll talk about boxing a little bit more, and as we get going with football, we'll start having football talk. And what are you going to do? Guess what? It is that time.
I was waiting for that song to come on. All right, enjoy your coffee, okay?
We're going to get coffee that's in the contract, and we're going to keep making entertainment history. So until next time, figure out what to talk about again. Remember, the best is yet to